You know, David, isn't it cool living in this neighborhood? There's so much going on here now. It's like our neighborhood's moving into this whole new phase with new houses being built, old houses being torn down, houses are being refurbished and made much nicer than they were, and people are moving into this area at an incredible rate.
Yeah, it's almost like chapter 2 of the neighborhood.
Yeah, and as we look around at Campbell Community Church here, we recognize that there's some things that have to be done on our property. There's some absolutely important needs that we have.
Yeah, over the last year, we have replaced 5 commercial air conditioning units. We've replaced 2 refrigerators. We've replaced the church signs out front, 2 water heaters. We've also replaced the office copier and printer, as well as a lot of the electrical inside the office itself.
And we have other upgrades that have to be done. We've had the fire department come in and tell us that we have to upgrade our fire alarm system. We've had the Department of Health come in and tell us that we have to do some work replacing some sinks and some plumbing in the preschool. We've got carpet that needs to be replaced. Our parking lot is a huge issue right now because it's falling apart and needs to be replaced. We have lights and projectors in this room here that need to be replaced, as well as almost our entire sprinkler system has leaks and problems throughout it. Now, financially, that's a lot to do, and we've got another challenge that's come out of that is, as we've come together as 2 congregations, we've had members that have moved on. We've had people that have moved to other states, and we've had a few members that have, moved on to be with Jesus as they've passed away.
Because of that, we have seen a decline of about $4,000 in our monthly tithes and offerings.
Yeah, we're talking about money issues, but the thing to know is it's not all bad news. We've had some amazing things happen over this last year as we've come from 2 separate churches into one. If I could, I'd like to share a story with you about what happened with our air conditioning units, the first 5 that have had to been replaced. They all went out over about a 2-month period, and it was going to cost us as a church about $30,000.
And do you remember you and I stressing one day and thinking, where's this money going to come from? Because we didn't have the $30,000 in the bank account. And as we were talking to the mortgage company, they discovered that there was a $25,000 CD that had been pledged to the mortgage however many years ago. And they said, well, that's yours for the taking.
Yeah, the money had been left to us that we didn't even know about. You can't tell me that's not a God thing.
No,
right when we most needed it, we found something that we didn't even know was there.
And that's why that story alone provided great encouragement to us as a staff, because we knew that God had not left us, that He was right in the middle of us and we were right in the center of His will. However, there are challenges oftentimes when we're in the center of His will, and that was one of the challenges that we faced last year. What are some of the other things that you remember over the last year?
Just some really cool things have happened. If you look around at our congregation, we've added about 20% new people over the last year, which neither of our previous congregations had experienced. Our pastors have made a goal to go out and meet people, and we've met over 1,000 people in our immediate community over this last year.
Yeah, and those are people who work and live right here within the neighborhoods of the Biltmore Arcadia area.
And as things have gotten better around here, one of the interesting things that's happened is that you as our congregation have begun pushing us to give more, to do more, to try new things.
And to bring you guys together in more tangible and significant ways so we can truly become a very tight and loving family.
One of the things that we've noticed in the Bible is that when God is about to bless, when He's about to make something amazing happen, He always puts the people through a time of testing. So that's where we believe that we are right now. We're at a period of testing as God prepares us to move into the new opportunities in this neighborhood and in our ministries. The elders and the pastors have run the numbers, and we've talked about what we need to make these things happen. And it's going to be approximately $50,000 over the next 12 months to take care of all of these needs. So that's where we all come in as a team and as a family. We have 3 things that we're asking of our congregation to do here. The first and foremost, most important of all, is to pray. Each of us should be praying that God would provide for this congregation, that He would provide financially for us, that He would provide ministry opportunities and eyes to see those opportunities, that He would provide the talents and abilities to make these things happen. We should be in prayer regularly, and that's what God instructs us to do. To raise this $50,000 that we need, we ask that each of us consider that there are His tithes, the money that we always give to the church and give back to God. But then we also consider our offerings. These are the things that are over and above the tithes that we normally do to the church. A little bit of a stretch, a little bit of reaching to meet the challenge that God has given us. The final thing that we ask for all of us is to provide. And that's as we recognize some of these jobs we can save money on if we all get together and kind of do the old Amish barn raising thing where we have a couple of work days and get some of these things done that we can do ourselves. And then we just need good old-fashioned roll up your sleeves labor. If we can do these three things as a congregation together, Pastor David and I feel that we are entering a new phase as a congregation, that God is truly bringing us into new challenges. I know $50,000 sounds like a lot of money. And some of the things that we need to do around this property seem like it's a lot to do. But if you think about it, this is not Pastor David and I asking you. This is us as a family recognizing the needs of what we have here. God has blessed us with this beautiful property, which is worth millions of dollars. And none of us had to build it or provide for it up to now. But it's our responsibility now to take it into the future and pass it on even to the next generation. That this can be a place, that this can be a church and a people that would be here in our neighborhood for generations to come to make a difference. And those of us who are here today can provide for that.
So please join us as we begin the next chapter of Campbell Community Church.